Ciao a tutti! Hello everyone! Benvenuti o bentornati sul mio canale. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Rachele here. Io sono Rachele. And today we are going to keep talking about Italian vowels. So if you are new here, you probably want to go back to the playlist pronunciation and take a look at my previous video about vowels, where I've already explained how to pronounce the first three vowels of Italian alphabet, which are A, E, with its two different pronunciations, and finally E. Also, you want to make sure to listen to the 3 tips I give in the other video about pronunciation learning in general. That being said, let's get started. Today I will teach you how to pronounce the last 2 vowels of the Italian alphabet, which are O and U. I think in order to learn properly how to pronounce them, it's going to be useful to briefly review how we pronounce the first vowel of our alphabet, which is A. And I remind you, we just pronounce this vowel by putting our lips in a round shape, like a big circle. A. When we pronounce O and U, we actually keep our lips in that round circle shape. The circle is just getting smaller and smaller. And I believe that if you notice this, it will be easier for you to actually pronounce these vowels correctly. Let's start with this vowel, O. This vowel in Italian actually has 2 different pronunciations, just as we studied for the E letter. I will first make you hear the 2 different pronunciations. I will then explain how to pronounce these 2 sounds, and finally I will give you 2 very important Italian words where we have to be careful about these 2 pronunciations. You can repeat after me. The first sound is O. O. And in Italian, we say this is an open O sound. Again, because our lips are quite on the open side. It's quite a big circle, not as big as in A, but still big enough. The second pronunciation is O. O. And in Italian, we say this is a closed O sound. Because you can notice the lips are much more closed compared to the previous sound. I will let you hear once more these 2 different sounds, one after the other. Open first and closed after. And of course, you can repeat after me. O. 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 So here I've mentioned we also have 2 important words, and I'm going to teach them right now. The first word is this. Now you may wonder how we pronounce that H in front of a vowel, and the answer is simply we don't. The H in Italian is silent. So we just pronounce an open O sound anytime you see this word, O. You can hear it's totally silent, no H, no strange sound in here, not at all. Just a plain O sound. So whenever you see this word, you know you have to pronounce O with an open O sound. And this is actually a word. It means I have in Italian. So again, anytime you hear someone say O, you know the right writing, the right spelling is this: H-O, H-O, H-O in Italian, and you know it means I have. The second word is just this, same as the vowel in the alphabet, same as the actual letter. And we pronounce this word with the closed Italian sound, you could easily have guessed, which is O. O. And this word means or. O. I suggest you pay extra attention to this difference in pronunciation when pronouncing O versus O. On the contrary, I don't think it's particularly useful or important for you at this beginning level to focus on picking the right sound O versus O when you see this letter in longer or different words. So just pay attention to the difference in these two particular words, and when it comes to all of the other words, just listen carefully to what Italians say and try to mimic their pronunciation. That will be more than enough. And now let's move on to the last vowel of our alphabet, which is U. Just one sound for this vowel, just one pronunciation, and I will repeat it again. Please repeat after me. The pronunciation is U. U. So you can see here my lips are still in a round shape, but the circle now is the tiniest possible. It's almost like when you want to send a kiss to someone. U. You can see the shape is kind of similar. Something I want to mention when we pronounce this sound is we don't have any U sound in Italian. I don't even know how to properly make that sound. So when we pronounce this sound, I know it's funny, but I think learning languages should be funny. It's like when we want to sound like a monkey. Ooh, 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 okay? Ooh, it's that sound. Short and strong. Ooh. This is actually true for all of our vowels. Every single vowel in Italian has kind of a cut sound. It's strong, it's very clear, very defined, and very short. I would like now to repeat all of these 7 sounds so you can take another look at the shape of my mouth. You can hear them once more. You can pay attention to what I've just mentioned, the pronunciation being very cut, short, and strong. And of course, you can repeat them after me. I will go first A to E, repeating the first lesson. Then starting again with A, I will go A to U, reviewing today's lesson. Let's start. A, E, I. Once more slowly. A, I. And now today's lesson. A, O, U. Once more slowly. A, O, U. So if I pronounce them all according to the alphabet order, they will be A, E, I, O, U. And these are our 7 vowel sounds. I would just like to give you a couple of simple sentences where you can hear, repeat, and read all of these sounds so you can have some extra practice. The first sentence will be Ho una bella casa, meaning I have a nice house. Ho, I have, una bella, a nice, house, casa. Ho una bella casa. The second sentence is cosa vuoi? Carne o pasta? What would you like? Carne or pasta? Carne is meat or pasta. Cosa vuoi? So pay extra attention to these three vowels all together. Once more. Cosa vuoi? Carne o pasta? You can replace carne and pasta to whatever A and B options and use this same pattern. Cosa vuoi? What would you like? A or B. Cosa vuoi? Carne o pasta? Now maybe you have paid so much attention to the shape of my mouth, you have noticed when I speak more normally, the shape is not so perfect, and this is much more true in our real life, everyday conversational pronunciation. But still, please learn as I teach you, okay? Pay attention to this whole shape thing. Try practicing the sound as I teach you and be confident you will see in a short or long period of time, eventually you will pronounce vowels as Italians. And again, keep in mind, even if you don't get to a point where your pronunciation is perfect, that is just going to be fine as well. I would like to know for this video as well, just if you want to share this kind of information with us, where you are from and what particular word of English you associate with these three different sounds, O, and U, in your pronunciation of the English language. So I'm referring back to the tips I gave you in the first video about vowels. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's all good and fine with this explanation, but if you have any doubts, if there's anything you haven't understood, or you just have any questions, please write them in the comments down below. I will read them and consider either to answer directly on the messages or create a new video if I think that's the best way to address your question. I would just like very briefly to remind you, I also offer online Italian lessons. So if you're interested, you can either contact me on my email address, which is in the description box below, or take a look at my website, which is also in the description box below. Thank you very much again, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Ciao, ciao!